Chapter 855, Supernatural Cult of Silent Hill. We were walking home from school. Chin, so how long have you been collecting the dual monster cards, JD? Me, over 10 years now. They are amazing. Chin, they sure are. Alexis, our dual academy trains us in how to become awesome duelists. Me, yep. Nico, we should go there for that cool spirit festival you guys told us about. Me, I heard that Cirrus met the real dark magician girl there. Alexis, he sure did. He was in love with her. Me, she has that kind of charm. After all, she is one of the most beautiful characters in Duel Monsters. Alexis, that's true. Chin, I heard you guys killed a ruthless monster named Sartorius. He was possessed by an evil force called the Light of Destruction. Me, yep. That was one of our most harrowing adventures. Sartorius was a monster hellbent on destroying the entire universe because of the Light of Destruction. I revealed the full history of the Light of Destruction and what happened during the events of the Dual Academy corruption. *****. The Light of Destruction. For billions of years, a white hole released a mysterious energy called the Light of Destruction. Yubel came into contact with this energy while she was in space, which distorted her sanity although it did not control her, probably because Yubel was a spirit of darkness, so being exposed to the malignant entity of light probably had aberrant consequences. Jaden had also always been the individual destined to oppose the light, with Yubel being specifically created to protect Jaden's ancestor the Supreme King until he was old enough to utilize his latent power to complete his mission. When this energy reached Earth, it caused several calamities such as dictatorships and wars. 10 years before the events of the second season, the Light of Destruction was released, infecting a card created by Aster's father, Destiny Hero, Plasma. When the D acquires the card by murdering Aster's father, it possesses him, causing him to develop an uncaring and sadistic alter ego. Afraid of what is happening to him, the D consults with a fortune teller named Sartorius. The Light takes Sartorius as his main host instead, but a small portion remains within the D, which helps him to ascend the Pro League and become world champion. After possessing Sartorius, it sets the stage for the events of the second season by amassing a cult of brainwashed students and acquiring a satellite capable of extinguishing all life on Earth. In the dub, the satellite would cause a mass brainwashing of all Earth's populace. It later partially infects Prince Ajin, who had been brainwashed to serve Sartorius in the Society of Light. It is ultimately sealed away, releasing Sartorius from its influence due to the efforts of Jaden and Aster. However, only the portion of it controlling Sartorius was destroyed and the light still exists in the universe. Near the end of the third season, Jaden learns that the Light of Destruction made his childhood card, Yubel, even more dangerous than it was before. He is also soon taken to the past, where he learned that Yubel was given the mission to protect a young prince, who held the power of the Supreme King, as he fought the light waves of chaos. As a result, Jaden decided to fuse with the soul of Yubel, and together they went off to fulfill the mission. Sartorius. In the past, Sartorius and his sister Mizuchi Sayu had the ability to see into the future, resulting in them being ostracized by others and eventually running away from home. Sartorius had later met Aster Phoenix and formed a friendship with him. At the Pro League champion, Sartorius was taken over by the Light of Destruction when DD came into contact with him. From then on, Sartorius became focused on changing the world and ridding it of darkness. He also formed the Society of Light in his efforts to expedite his plans. Sartorius appeared on Duel Academy in his hopes of completing his plans. He first planned to have Jaden lose to Edo in their second duel so that Jode would be placed under his control. However, Jaden was able to resist the Light of Destruction's influence. Sartorius later duels Ches and defeats him. As a result of the defeat, Ches joined the Society of Light. Sartorius later finds out that Jaden is able to defy his destiny and the fortunes when he thought that Jaden would lose in a duel to Aster. The members of the Society of Light began to increase subsequently when Ches defeated his fellow students in duels, eventually taking over the entire Obelisk Blue dorm, repainting it white and renaming it Obelisk White, and bringing Alexis Rhodes into the Society's ranks. Sartorius eventually arrived at Duel Academy and dueled Tyranno Misawa, interested to see the bond he shared between Aster and Jaden. Although he defeated Tyranno in a duel, he did not become a member of the Society of Light. Subsequently, Sartorius enrolled as a transfer student at Duel Academy, moving into the Obelisk White dorm. Sartorius's sister, Mizuchi, also appeared and she talked about their troubled past and Sartorius's turn to the dark side. As the Society of Light began to expand, Sartorius had trouble controlling himself against the influence of the Light of Destruction. He also defeated Prince Ajin in a duel and gained access on a satellite that would help him in his plan to take over the world. He later gave Jode and Edo the keys as a way to prevent himself from carrying out his goal. He also got a hold of Alexis and used her in an effort to get the key back from Jaden, but it failed. Fed up by this loss, Sartorius ordered many members from the Society of Light to duel Jaden and anyone else who were with him. Aster wanted to go after Sartorius. But when he was about to give Sartorius one of the keys to the satellite, Jaden appeared and told him the truth about Sartorius. He advised him on dueling him instead to get the key. However, Aster lost the duel and Sartorius gained the key. Jaden then duels Sartorius in a final battle to save the world. As the duel went on, Sartorius ordered Ajin to prepare the satellite. Ultimately, Sartorius lost his duel to Jaden and he was released from the influence of the light. With the defeat of the Sartorius, the Society of Light was disbanded and all their members were released from the Light of Destruction's control. He later thanked Jaden and Aster for helping him get past his pain and reuniting him with his sister. Sartorius and his sister then left the island. Chin gasped in powerful horror. Chin, that's terrifying. Tanya, that Sartorius guy was a monster. Me, yet. The Light of Destruction was an even bigger monster though. Its goal was to destroy all life in the entire universe. Chin, that is awful. Me, you think that was bad? Just wait till you hear about Darts. Chin, who was Darts? Me, he was the king of Atlantis from 10,000 years ago. He was going to destroy the entire human race with the power of an evil force called the Orichalcos. Chin, what's the Orichalcos? Me, an extremely dangerous evil force that uses the negative energy in everyone's hearts. I revealed the history of Darts and the Orichalcos and the events of the negative energy of the Orichalcos. Orichalcos. The Orichalcos is a primal evil force said to be as old as time itself. It seeks to corrupt, and eventually consume, the souls of living beings and spread all forms of wickedness throughout the world, and possibly even the whole universe. Its power is apparently fueled by the darkness that resides in the hearts of humans. The exact details and origins of this Orichalcos are unknown, but thousands of years ago, the mysterious and mystical stone comprised entirely of the Orichalcos energy rained down upon the ancient kingdom of Atlantis. The fragmented pieces of the object became jewel-like stones, imbued the Atlantean people with ultimate knowledge and power. In just a few years, Atlantis became the most advanced civilization on the planet, far more advanced than the modern world of today. But unfortunately, as is human nature, with progress and power also comes corruption and greed. The people of Atlantis rapidly became selfish and power-hungry and soon, the stones of the Orichalcos began to expose the evil in them, turning those with darkness on the inside into monsters on the outside. When consulted, the Orichalcos tainted the mind of the Atlantean kingdom's ruler, Darts. The Orichalcos granted Darts immense power and lent him supernatural soldier-like monsters known as the Orichalcos soldiers to do his bidding. It also gave him control of a powerful beast, the Orichalcos god, also known as the Great Leviathan in the 4Kids dub, which would help him to destroy the world and create a new one that would be free of evil. Ironheart and Dart's daughter fled and called upon the world of dual monsters and its guardians, the three legendary dragons, in actuality, 3 soldiers whom Darts had transformed into dragons, for help against the corrupted Darts. One day, An army of benevolent magical creatures including the 3 dragons led by Ironheart met with Darth's army of evil Orichalco's soldiers and the Great Leviathan, and the Battle of Atlantis took place. The battle concluded with neither side being victorious. The 3 dragons were frozen in ice, and the magical creatures were sent back to their own world. The bestial soldiers of the Orichalcos were destroyed, and the Great Leviathan drained of its power and was sealed away from this world. The island of Atlantis sank beneath the sea. But despite this, the Orichalcos itself continued to exist. Also, Darts, kept alive and young by its power, sought to revive the Great Leviathan and finish what he started, and to do so he required the one thing the Orichalcos itself also desired: human souls. For almost 100 centuries Darts wandered the earth, collecting millions of souls and recruiting many followers to assist him. 10,000 years later in the present day, Darts was ready to revive the Great Leviathan, through the power of countless human souls collected through the power of the Orichalcos, which he infused into dual monster cards to create the card known as the Seal of Orichalcos, named after the symbolic crest of the Orichalcos magic itself. The Seal of Orichalcos is a magic card infused with the power of the Orichalcos. It consists of an inner layer where there is a unicursal hexagram and an outer layer where the word Orichalcos is inscribed in Enochian, though the text on the card itself reads Orichalcos in Enochian. This card unleashes the said mystical darkness power of the player who is playing it. The Orichalcos itself can greatly affect the gameplay itself. Because of its power, many duelists lose one way or another, and one must also lose their own soul. In the end, Yugi defeated Darts and freed him from the Orichalcos' control. He also destroyed the Great Leviathan for good and freed all its captured souls. Most passed on to the afterlife, while the more recently captured ones returned to their bodies. Though the Orichalcos still existed and presumably always will, without its living avatars and corrupted servants, its influence on the world was most likely broken. Darts. Darts is the main antagonist of the anime-only filler Waking the Dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh! He lives in the ancient city of Atlantis while he was the legendary continent's former king, and is the father of Chris and son of Ironheart. Darts was turned evil by the power of the Orichalcos, making him believe that mankind was evil. As a result, he served the Orichalcos master, the Orichalcos god, also known as the Great Leviathan, and planned to awaken him by using Orichalcos cards to steal souls from victims to feed to him. The power of the Orichalcos kept him alive for over 10,000 years. Disguising himself as Gozaburo Kaiba, he killed Amoda's brother Mirako, kidnapped him in the 4Kids dub, framed Valen by paying a gang to burn down the church that he lived in, framed him for an unknown crime in the 4Kids dub, and caused a ship Raphael was on to crash into a typhoon, which killed Raphael's parents in the Japanese version. In the dub the parents survived but forgot about him, making them work for him. He dueled Dark Yugi and Kaiba together, and defeated Kaiba, but was defeated by Yami when his serpent god Ge, whose attack power was infinity, was destroyed by the combined form of the 3 dragon cards, whose power was beyond infinity. He then offered his own soul to the Leviathan, but was released from his influence when the Leviathan was destroyed by Adam. Darts then returned below the sea with Atlantis, Chris, and Ironheart, to enter the afterlife. 10,000 years ago, Atlantis, an island isolated from the rest of the world, was a perfect civilization. One day, however, meteors rained down upon the kingdom. These meteorites were mysterious and powerful stones of the Orichalcos, and glowed a bright greenish-blue light. These stones imbued the people of Atlantis with ultimate knowledge and power. In just a few years, Atlantis became the most advanced civilization on the planet, even more advanced than the modern world of today. However, with power comes corruption and greed. Ironheart, the king of Atlantis, gave his throne to his son, Darts. Soon, the stones of the Orichalcos began to expose the evil in people, turning those with darkness on the inside into monsters on the outside. Darts witnessed his own wife Ior become a horrid, ugly beast who attacks him. Confused and frightened, Darts consulted a stone of the Orichalcos for guidance. The Orichalcos granted Darts great power and lent him soldiers to do his bidding. It told him to resurrect an ancient mystical beast known as the Orichalcos god, which would help him to destroy the world and create a new one that would be free of evil. Eventually, Darts became corrupted and misguided. Ironheart and Darts' daughter Chris fled and called upon the world of dual monsters and its guardians, the 3 legendary dragons, which were, in actuality, 3 soldiers whom Darts had transformed into dragons, for help against the corrupted Darts. One day, an army of benevolent magical creatures including the 3 dragons led by Ironheart met with Darts' army of evil Orichalcos soldiers and the Great Leviathan, and the Battle of Atlantis took place. The battle concluded with neither side being victorious. The 3 dragons were frozen in ice, and the magical creatures were sent back to their own world. The bestial soldiers of the Orichalcos were destroyed, and the Orichalcos god was sealed away from this world. The island of Atlantis sank beneath the sea. The corruption of the Orichalcos made Darts believe the world to be a wicked place, and that humans had an inherent malice in their hearts. The transformation the Orichalcos had inflicted on his fellow Atlanteans was, he believed, the punishment for being evil, as the outside of man became as twisted as the inside. Darts was driven to revive the great Leviathan to raise the world, so that he may reconstruct it in the image of glorious Atlantis. To do so, Darts required human souls. He proceeded to wander the earth for the next 10,000 years, presumably kept alive by the power of the Orichalcos, and knew he had found one of the powerful souls he required when he encountered the pharaoh Atum in ancient Egypt, witnessing his control of the powers of darkness and his ability to command dual monsters. He also witnessed the pharaoh, with Slifa the sky dragon pursuing Thief King Bakura and his Diabound. However, Darts could not capture the pharaoh's soul because Bakura was in his way. He therefore had to wait another 3,000 years, 5,000 in the 4K IDS version, to capture the pharaoh's soul. It is unclear precisely when Darts began to collect souls, but eventually, Darts established a multinational conglomerate named Paradias, which became a well-known, yet mysterious force in the business world. But this was not the only organization Darts had formed. He also controlled the Doma organization, unnamed in the English version, a group formed to gather souls to feed the Great Leviathan by challenging unsuspecting players to games of dual monsters only to have their souls taken by the Barrier of Orichalcos, a card he had suffused with the Orichalcos power. For 10,000 years, Darts collected the souls of his adversaries and many innocents in order to ensure the return of the Orichalcos god into this world. With time, the number of souls Darts had stolen stretched into the millions, thanks in part to his underlings. Darts' most recent underlings, Raphael, Valen and Amalda, a trio of dual monsters players known as Doma's 3 swordsmen, had their lives manipulated by Darts to make them feel only hatred, molding them to be ideal servants to his cause. He gave them each a small fragment of the Orichalcos, which can be used to break the seal of Orichalcos from outside in case of emergency, and gives them magical abilities that rival the Millennium items. Once aware of the fact that the pharaoh had been reincarnated and his spirit revived in the present day, Darts began his agenda to take his soul by freezing over the tablet of memories, thus preventing the pharaoh from remembering his own past. Later, he ordered his minions to steal the Egyptian god cards, using their power along with human souls to revitalize the Leviathan. Subsequently, Yugi Muto, Seto Kaiba and Katsuya Yanoshi released and joined forces with the legendary dragons as the souls of both them and their friends come under threat. Darts' surviving family, Ironheart and Chris, would assist Atum in recovering his self-confidence and the trust of Timaeus. Events gradually converge on a duel between Dark Yugi, Kaiba and Darts, in which Dark Yugi claimed victory by releasing the power of the legendary dragons and returning them to their human forms. Yugi, Kaiba, and Yanoshi's souls are emancipated from the clutches of the Orichalcos god. However, Darts sacrificed his own soul, with his human body reduced to dust, to give the Orichalcos god enough power to fully resurrect and raise Atlantis once more with himself combined with the Great Beast. In the ensuing battle, Dark Yugi released the spirits of the Egyptian gods from within the god and together they destroyed it, discharging all of the captive souls. However, a trace of its darkness remains, revealing the god's original form, along with Dart's soul, which Dark Yugi is able to banish, releasing Darts from the influence of the Orichalcos and allowing him to be reunited with the spirits of his family and enter the afterlife as Atlantis sank back beneath the sea. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Sheen gasped in horror. Sheen, I can't believe he was that evil. Me, yet. But Darts and the Great Leviathan were very formidable adversaries. In the end, Heidi sealed Darts and the Orichalcos into the darkness of her mind for all eternity. Sheen, that is amazing. Me, I was so proud of my granddaughter for doing it. She was the true hero that day. Tanya, wow. That's so cool. Me, it was. Carmen, I'm happy for Heidi. I'm glad she put that Darts guy in his place. We laughed. Then a 19-year-old kid came out and he had red hair, brown eyes, an orange shirt, brown pants, and spiked boots. Sean grins evilly at Carmen. Hello, pipsqueak. Carmen, gasp. Sean McVeigh. Maria, I thought you were gone for good. Me, you guys know this jerk? Maria, unfortunately yes. He was a ruthless bully that would always pick on Carmen. But he was sent to juvie before the Big Bang happened. Me, whoa. Nico, this twerp has failed this city. Me, yep. Wait, Sean, your last name is McVeigh. Are you by any chance? Sean, yet. I'm the son of Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. We gasped in horror. Me, your father was a monster. Carmen, what's the Oklahoma City bombing? Me, that was a terrible event that happened back on April 19, 1995. Timothy McVeigh blew up the whole Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building with a powerful fertilizer bomb and it killed 168 people. I revealed everything. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The Oklahoma City bombing was a domestic terrorist truck bombing on the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, United States on April 19, 1995. Perpetrated by Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, the bombing happened at 9:02 a.m. and killed at least 168 people, injured more than 680 others, and destroyed one-third of the building. The blast destroyed or damaged 324 other buildings within a 16-block radius, shattered glass in 258 nearby buildings, and destroyed or burned 86 cars, causing an estimated $652 million worth of damage. Local, state, federal, and worldwide agencies engaged in extensive rescue efforts in the wake of the bombing, and substantial donations were received from across the country. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, activated 11 of its urban search and rescue task forces, consisting of 665 rescue workers who assisted in rescue and recovery operations. Until the September 11, 2001 attacks, the Oklahoma City bombing was the deadliest terrorist attack in the history of the United States, and remains the deadliest incident of domestic terrorism in the country's history. Within 90 minutes of the explosion, McVeigh was stopped by Oklahoma Highway Patrolman Charlie Hanger for driving without a license plate and arrested for illegal weapons possession. Forensic evidence quickly linked McVeigh and Nichols to the attack. Nichols was arrested, and within days, both were charged. Michael and Lori Fortier were later identified as accomplices. McVeigh, a veteran of the Gulf War and a U.S. militia movement sympathizer, had detonated a Ryder rental truck full of explosives parked in front of the building. His co-conspirator, Nichols, had assisted with the bomb's preparation. Motivated by his dislike for the U.S. federal government and unhappy about its handling of the Ruby Ridge incident in 1992 and the Waco siege in 1993, McVeigh timed his attack to coincide with the second anniversary of the deadly fire that ended the siege at the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas. The official investigation, known as UCBOMB, saw FBI agents conduct 28,000 interviews, amass 3.5 short tons, 3,200 kilograms, of evidence, and collected nearly 1 billion pieces of information. The bombers were tried and convicted in 1997. McVeigh was executed by lethal injection on June 11, 2001 at the U.S. Federal Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana, and Nichols was sentenced to life in prison in 2004. Michael and Lori Fortier testified against McVeigh and Nichols. Michael was sentenced to 12 years in prison for failing to warn the United States government, and Lori received immunity from prosecution in exchange for her testimony. As a result of the bombing, the U.S. Congress passed the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996, which tightened the standards for habeas corpus in the United States, as well as legislation designed to increase the protection around federal buildings to deter future terrorist attacks. On April 19, 2000, the Oklahoma City National Memorial was dedicated on the site of the Murrah Federal Building, commemorating the victims of the bombing. Remembrance services are held every year on April 19, at the time of the explosion. *****. Sheen and Carmen gasped. Carmen, that's horrible. Sheen, why would Timothy McVeigh do all that? Me, he hated the whole country for stopping the Branch Davidson cult and wanted to make us all suffer with the worst acts of terrorism ever. President Bill Clinton called it the worst act of domestic terrorism in the history of the country. Sean, yes, my father was a monster. I hate my father for everything he has done. The reason I bully people is because of everything that my father did. Me, your father is dead now. He was executed on June 11, 2001. Sean, yes, and I'm glad he's dead. Nico, that's good that he got what was coming to him for killing all those people. But you shouldn't bully people for everything that your father did. Sean, I know. But I can't help it. I hate my father with a terrible vengeance. He was a monster. Sure, he did a lot terrible things, but I just hate everyone that reminds me of him. Nico, that is insane. Maria, yet. It's not right. Sean, so, now you want to stand up for Carmen after being missing for so long, Maria? Too little, too late. Hunger, it's never too late. Black fire, to Sean, you chlorbag varblernalk. Everyone, what? Black fire, that's Tamarinine for a monster of mayhem. Me, oh. That fits him well. Nico, Starfire called Beast Boy that from what I remember. Me, yet. Let's teach this Claude a lesson. We went at him and pulverized him. After we knocked him down, Ben as Amphibian held him up. Amphibian, say the word and this asshole gets fried. Me, no Ben, allow me. I pulled out my SPD. More for me, judgment mode. I had it in judgment mode and a red X lit up. Me, guilty. I put him in a containment card and picked it up and he was locked in it. Me, you're looking at life in this card. As Carmen's prisoner. Carmen was crying. Carmen, crying, why did he have to come back? G1 Bumblebee, don't worry, Carmen. That jerk won't hurt you again. Maria, hugs a crying Carmen, of course he won't. Lainey, poor Carmen. Lincoln, that guy was a total jerk. We later went back to the estate. Back at the estate, we were watching TV and playing card games. Carmen keeps the card with Sean McVeigh inside it in her room on her desk. Me, I'm so sorry that he picked on you all that time, Carmen. Carmen, it's all right, JD. But I'm glad he's now in a containment card. Maybe I can try to talk some sense into him while he's in there. Maria, good for you, sis. Then the alarm went off. Me, uh-oh. We went to the computer and we saw that there was a supernatural disturbance coming from the town of Silent Hill, West Virginia. Me, gasp, Silent Hill. Oh shit. Lori, what is Silent Hill? Lincoln, you mean that video game that is a horrifying story that is full of monsters and all that? Me, yep. The whole town was left abandoned when a coal seam fire exploded out 40 years ago. Lainey, how did that happen? Me, it was caused by an evil satanic cult. I pulled up the symbol of the cult called the Order. Me, the Order. Lana, these guys look dangerous. Me, they are. They are a satanic cult that want to turn the world into a perfect utopia. But they are going to destroy the whole planet to do so. I revealed their whole history. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The Order believes they are the one true faith and one true religion, and all other religions are deceits and false truths. It is ambiguous if this is true, or if it is make-believe fantasy manifested by the ancient power of Silent Hill. The cult's official seal is known as the Halo of the Sun and is often used or seen in the presence of cult members, particularly while conducting rituals. The Order is involved with esoteric occultism, black magic, sometimes referred as the dark arts, arcane ceremonies, and blood sacrifices. The Order is prevalent in all of the games, and are deeply rooted in Silent Hill's history and culture. They are responsible for orchestrating the deaths of several people who developed the town, the local anti-drug mayor and his private investigator. Selling illegal drugs such as the hallucinogen PTV to tourists. Kidnapping young girls for their ceremonies. These abducted girls were intended to be used as prospective surrogate mothers. It is possible they were murdered after. Ilesic Gillespie's immolation and supernatural rise to power, as well as the subsequent attempts to contain it. Running the Wish House orphanage, and were responsible for Walter Sullivan's descent into madness. His murdering almost 21 people became known worldwide as the Walter Sullivan case. Involvement in the damnation of Shepherd's Glen. Creation of multiple books of memories to imbue the writers with God's will. Pyramid Head takes the form of an iconic figure of judgment and punishment of the Order's mythos, Voltael. The creature itself even makes an appearance to follow Heather Mason, the reincarnation of Alessa, and the Order's god still sleeping within her womb. When people refuse to convert to the Order, the cult often resorts to brainwashing, kidnapping, drug trafficking, child abuse, acts of violence, torture, and even murder. The Order uses each method to achieve different goals. Loyalty, discipline, and the rebuilding of their flock and faith requires many approaches to ensure that no one attempts to leave the Order. At the same time, the Order has certain goals to achieve in order to seek the path of the old ways as well as certain needs to fulfill. Without total control over the town and the people living within, the Order would not be able to achieve its true goals. Some Order members threaten eternal damnation towards non-believers, especially those whom they consider as pagans, heretics, sinners, blasphemers, and mockers. However, not all of their members are necessarily hateful or violent. Many of them are brainwashed, making them mentally and spiritually ill while occasionally also being twisted and depraved. Dr. Michael Kaufman is an Order member, but he chooses not to be involved with the religious side of it. Some members, such as the Unseen Confessor, are treated sympathetically. As with a real cult, some members are not so much evil as they are born into the environment of a cult. While the Order itself is evil, not all of the people within are as well. In truth, the Order genuinely believes that what they are doing will create a paradise for what they believe is a tainted humanity. Other Order members fear certain members among them with special powers, which was possibly given to them because of their great faith. Their occult and seemingly magical abilities are but further unexplained, as many of their rituals produce arcane effects that defy all logic. It is implied that the town itself is to blame for the power, along with a classic superstition of building on top of a Native American burial ground as explained in Silent Hill 2. Their tie to the forces of the other world are also quite strong, as some members of the Order can even go so far as to manipulate it to a degree. The Order themselves follows a philosophy of moral nihilism. They do not believe in good and evil, only chaos and order, and feel this somehow justifies their wicked ways. The Order takes inspiration and draws elements from other religions, such as the origins of Christianity, Japanese folklore, Aztec rituals, and Native American beliefs. History. It is important to note that the Order itself is not the same as the religion of the land's original Native American inhabitants before the settlers arrived. The roots of this religious organization originally date back as far as the 17th century, with the burning of Jennifer Carroll in 1692 before she was declared as a saint afterwards by the order. However, back then, they were not formally known as the order. When Silent Hill became a tourist location around the 1900s, the order was formed at the same time, and were despised by most of the local citizens, thus their union was carried out in secret. With time, the cult infiltrated the public institutions of the town, gradually gaining more influence and power. Since the order is suggested to be the same as the Native American tribe's religion, it is possible that the cult's high priestess, Dahlia Gillespie, became their leader because of her family background of a coal company the Gillespies used at the Devil's Pit, which contain artifacts and human remains of the local region's former inhabitants. The order used the plant White Claudia for its mystical and hallucinogenic properties and to create the drug PTV, which they used for their ceremonies, and also distributed to the populace of Silent Hill. After the events of Silent Hill in 1983, the cult was left in shambles and went through a period of inactivity. Father Vincent invested in the cult and revived it. After the events of Silent Hill 3 in 2000, including the demise of two ruling order clerics, Father Vincent and Sister Claudia, it can be speculated that all but one sect were eliminated. Detective Douglas Cartland worked to expose the now defunct order, according to Paul Skibble's book Through the Fog, A Skeptic in Silent Hill. Paul interviewed longtime residents during his 2-year stay in Silent Hill, many of them proclaiming the order is the great evil. Journalist Joseph Schreiber believed that while the order itself was gone, the spirit of the cult was still alive in Silent Hill because there were too many weird things happening in the town. After the events of Homecoming in 2007, the presumed final sect in Shepherd's Glen was destroyed, leading to the supposed death of the cult. Beliefs. These paintings are the iconography of the order's religious mythology of spiritual beliefs. The order worships the entities of the other world of Silent Hill, which they believe house their faith's incarnation of God, which is often depicted as an orange-haired Caucasian woman in flowing long red robes. It has been stated that this belief lies the foundation for the whole cult. Their mythos has a wide variety of angels and saints, including God, Voltaire, Metatron, Lobsylvith, Suchilbra, Nicholas, Saint, a Doctor of God, Jennifer Carroll, Saint, unwavering faith under death's blade, Alessa Gillespie, Saint, Holy Mother of God, Daughter of God. Paradise as described according to the beliefs of the local religious cult in Silent Hill known as the Order. The Order's main goal, as many of its members state, is to usher in the apocalypse and deliver the faithful to the eternal paradise, an utopian world that is a place without hunger, illness, war, or greed, a realm where all would live by God's grace alone. This paradise means many different things to different members, but the goals remain the same, and this is brought about in ways that vary from sect to sect. Some try to actively aid it while others simply prepare for the inevitable. As stated on several occasions, the Order themselves follows a philosophy of moral nihilism. They do not believe in terms of good or evil, only the concepts of chaos and order, and they feel this justifies their actions. Their ways are cruel and brutal, to ensure order remains in place. To ensure loyalty and discipline, many children under the Order's care are cruelly treated and disciplined harshly in some sects. Human life is inconsequential to them, as they are more than willing to sacrifice and kill to appease God. They believed in God, paradise, sin, salvation, souls, purgatory, and hell. The Rite of Spring. The Rite of Spring painting, with the man offering a serpent and the woman offering a reed both depicted in it, shows the fact that the Order has its own unique beliefs which are based on the mythology of other religions. The Order's occult and seemingly magical abilities are further unexplained, as many of their rituals produce arcane effects that defy all logic. Their tie to the forces of the other world is also quite strong, as some members of the cult can even go so far as to manipulate it to a degree. The Order believes that humanity and society is but corrupt, drowning in pain and loss, shackled by sin, and that they are among the elite chosen people to bring about a new world unspoiled by evil. Claudia Wolf, a sister of the Order, believes that happy people are most often the cruelest and humanity has been contaminated by avaricious behavior and earthly materials and base desires. The order themselves appears to be either Gnostic or ascetic, which shuns the material/physical world, instead embracing the spiritual world. System of beliefs. 1. Commitment. This Bible with the halo of the Sun seal is the Order's system of beliefs found in Silent Hill, Homecoming. All members of the Order must have fully committed themselves to this purpose in their beliefs, their activities, and their lives. 2. Membership. Membership within the Order is extended to all that seek the old ways. Levels of membership. Mother Circle. The Mother is considered the founding group of the Order. Daughter Circle. Any second-generation group hived off of the Mother. Servant Circle. Any third-generation group stemming from the Mother. 3. The High Council. The High Council is set in place as a tool for all within the Order to make use of. The purpose of the High Council shall be to aid in the process of group formation as needed, act as governing body in matters pertaining to the Order as a whole, and to be a judge/jury if asked to settle disputes. 4. Grievances and discipline procedures. All decisions made by the High Council are binding. Presenting your case before the Council implies your acceptance of their decision. Those seeking mediation must contact the scribe. The High Council shall be called in to preside over disputes within a group to hear complaints and accusation of inappropriate acts, heresy, abuse of power by leaders, any other complaints that are deemed worthy to preserve the public image or internal integrity of the Order. The nature of the disciplinary action shall be decided at the sole discretion of the High Council. These actions shall contain, but not be limited to, assignment of manual labor, persecution of an individual member, execution or torture, and the banishment of a group. If an individual member wishes to leave the Order, he or she is required to bring his or her request to the High Council. Sects. The Order is divided into several sects. Sect of the Holy Woman. This sect, the Holy Woman sect or the Sect of the Holy Woman, is centered around a priestess named Dahlia Gillespie. This sect believed that God would return to Earth one day and await her coming faithfully. However, Dahlia Gillespie had attempted to hasten God's rebirth by using an immolation ritual which meant her daughter, Alessa, would be used as a sacrifice. Members of this sect include Dahlia Gillespie, Claudia Wolf, Vincent Smith, and Leonard Wolf. They believe that once God has come, she will cause the apocalypse and usher the faithful to paradise. Not all their members are active in this, however, such as Vincent. Claudia believes that a God born from pain and hatred would thereby be more sympathetic. Sect of the Holy Mother. Members of the Holy Mother sect or Sect of the Holy Mother, not to be confused with Alessa Gillespie, known as the Mother of God, used their self-run wish house to raise a conjurer. They respected the Mother Stone as something sacred, and called the god Holy Mother. This sect believed that the Holy Mother would be descended by a conjurer performing a ritual to descend the god into a sacred object. Members of this sect include Toby Archbold. They are slightly more pacifistic than the Sect of the Holy Woman, though their cruelty is still directly shown by their treatment of the orphans in their care, including a younger Walter Sullivan. They also held a ritual for the resurrection of the dead, which James Sunderland may find in Silent Hill 2. Members of the Voltael sect. This sect, the Sect of Voltael or the Voltael sect, is centered around the priest Jimmy Stone. This sect believed Voltael to be the closest to God, and worshipped him as a divine executioner. Members of the Voltael sect would don red pointed hoods and act like executioners in honor of Voltael. Members of this sect include Jimmy Stone and George Roston. Sect of Shepherd's Glen. An unnamed sect of the Order residing in Shepherd's Glen, they are a splinter group, having broken away from the core of the Order to live more peaceful, stable lives. Though separate from the Order, many of the core beliefs are still upheld, including faith in their God and a desire for discipline. The founding families that made up this sect entered into a pact with their God. If one child from each of the 4 families was sacrificed every 50 years, Shepherd's Glen would be spared from the effects of the other world. The families are the Shepherds, the Holloways, the Bartletts, and the Fitches. With Adam Shepard's failure to fulfill his portion of the pact, the agreement was broken, and Shepard's Glen was left to the ravages of the otherworld. Members include Curtis Ackers, Adam Shepard, Sam Bartlett, Martin Fitch, and Margaret Holloway. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We gasped in sheer horror. Alicia, that's like the Church of Unitology. Isaac Clarke, so we have a variation of the Unitology cult here on Earth. Me, in a way. But without the markers and the necromorphs. The Order is a very dangerous cult. And according to legend, it is said that the Order plunged the entire town of Silent Hill into purgatory, and the only way to free the whole town is to kill all of the Order. Nico, we got to get over there. Me, let's head out. Salvation is in our hands. We were off to Silent Hill, West Virginia. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Silent Hill, West Virginia. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We arrived in Silent Hill, West Virginia. We arrived at the sign that says "Welcome to Silent Hill." Me, here we are, guys. Silent Hill. Once we go past that sign, there's no turning back. Nico, this place gives me the creeps. Lana and Lola were hugging each other in fright. Lana and Lola, I'm scared. Me, I know. But we have to stay strong. We can't let fear cloud our judgments. Also, this town has a nasty way of messing around with your mind. Stay close. We went into the town and we saw that it was a deserted town, totally trapped in purgatory. We saw that it was snowing. But it wasn't snow. It was ash. We saw that the whole town was abandoned. Lainey, where is everybody? Me, hiding. They're spirits now. They will not be at peace until the Order has been eliminated. Then we saw a teenage girl with blonde hair and a red vest and white shirt and blue pants. She saw us. It was a girl named Heather Mason. Heather M, Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me, I take it we aren't the only ones not answering to destroy the Order. Heather M, yet. I'm Heather Mason. Me, pleasure to meet you, Heather. We came to free this whole town from the grip that the Order has on it. Heather M, and we will. We're gonna send that fucking cult off to the fire of hell forever. Me, we all will. The Order has terrorized this whole town and the world for far too long, and now we're gonna destroy them all once and for all. Lincoln, but where are they? Me, they're hidden somewhere. We then saw a cloaked woman. It was the supposed leader of the Order, Dahlia Gillespie. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Dahlia grew up in Silent Hill, and eventually became the head of the Order sect known as the Sect of the Holy Woman. Dahlia is also the owner and proprietor of the Green Lion Antique Store in Silent Hill. It is also rumored that she has a side business of magic spells and fortune-telling to her customers. She may have been involved in the mysterious deaths of several people involved in developing Silent Hill into a resort town back in the 1960s. She also started a drug trade, selling a hallucinogen to the tourists, made from a local plant named White Claudia, that was also used in the cult's rituals. She was assisted in this by Dr. Michael Kaufman, the director of Alchemilla Hospital, whose level of cult involvement and activity is unknown. This led to Dahlia's involvement in the death of the anti-drug mayor and the narcotics officer Gucci. But Dahlia's supreme goal was to bring the Order's God into this world and bring paradise on Earth, but her real interest was in gaining personal power. She attempted to impregnate several young girls with the God, but none of them could withstand the trauma involved in the impregnation process. Alessa. Dahlia Gillespie then found out that her 7-year-old daughter Alessa had vast mental powers. Dahlia and the cult proceeded to perform the impregnation ritual on Alessa, which involved setting the girl on fire, in an upstairs room in the Gillespie house. She had managed to bind Alessa's power with a mystical device called the Floros, but she did not count on Alessa drawing in an outsider named Travis Grady to help her fight back. Travis unwittingly helped her release her powers, and Alessa foiled the cult's plans by splitting her soul in half, shaped it into an infant, and placed it on the side of the road. where the childless Harry Mason and his dying wife Jody found her and named her Cheryl, raising her as their own. Although the god was successfully impregnated in Alessa, the half of her soul left was not powerful enough to give birth to it. Dahlia cast a summoning spell, keeping Alessa alive and in extreme pain, not allowing her burns to heal. Her intention was for the other half to subconsciously feel Alessa's pain, and come back to Silent Hill, where the soul would be reunited. 7 years of waiting. Dahlia had Alessa placed in secret room in the sub-basement of Alchemilla Hospital and kept under the watchful eye of Dr. Kaufman. Alessa's intense suffering caused her to slip into a coma, but her subconscious self was still active. Essentially, Dahlia's spell had caused Alessa to plummet into a nightmare state, which was populated by monsters representing her fears and anxieties. The dormant god inside of her fed off this fear and suffering, allowing it to develop. Harry and Cheryl arrive. 7 years after the ritual, Alessa's suffering causes Cheryl to subconsciously choose Silent Hill as the vacation spot they would visit, something which they had done together since Mrs. Mason had died 4 years previously. As they drew close to the town, Alessa awakened and sent out an astral projection of her soul. Near the town lines, while Cheryl is asleep, she runs into the road, causing Harry to crash the car, knocking himself out. When he awakes, Cheryl has disappeared and he is in Silent Hill engulfed by the fog world, which is perpetual dreary silence, and the other world, which is manifesting Alessa's darkest nightmares. In fact, Cheryl has now merged with the half-soul of Alessa, and pretty much ceased to exist as an independent entity. She begins rapidly maturing to Alessa's current physical age of 14. Using her powers, Alessa forms a scheme to destroy herself, the town, and the god by spreading a magical crest, known as the Seal of Metatron, known to Dahlia as the Mark of Samuel, throughout the otherworld town to make up one large crest, with several that were larger than the others placed in key locations. Cheryl's return and bonding with Alessa catches Dahlia's attention, but she cannot finish the ritual until Alessa's soul is brought back to her body. She also cannot enter the dark side of Alessa's other world, known as the Other Side, better known as Nowhere, where Alessa is carrying out her plan. Dahlia needed someone else to help her, and ultimately settles on Harry, whom Alessa moves between the light and dark worlds in order to keep her beloved father from dying. Dahlia proceeds to trick Harry into assisting in her scheme. Dahlia's machinations. Dahlia Gillespie leaves clues around Silent Hill directing Harry Mason to the key locations, including the Midwich Elementary School, the Alchemilla Hospital, and the Lakeside Amusement Park. She even places Cheryl's voice calling for help and her father on a telephone near Harry, and even places a similar voice along with an ominous image of Cheryl on a television screen he passes. She meets Harry at the Balkan Church and points him toward the hospital. She also gives him the Floros, which she told Harry would contain Alessa's evil. She meets with him several more times, and at the last one, she tells Harry that Alessa is a demon in a child's form and will make Cheryl into a sacrifice and set the other world loose if she completes the seals, which Dahlia calls the Mark of Samael. He does not fully trust her, but has nothing else to go on. Harry fails to stop Alessa from completing the first several seals, but arrives at the amusement park ahead of her, and confronts her, demanding Cheryl back. Alessa pushes him away with her powers, but the Floros activates itself and traps her. Dahlia arrives, and Alessa's other world loses its cohesion and collapses into a mixture of the different locations, referred to as Nowhere. It is here, in a transfigured form of the Gillespie household, that Dahlia prepares to complete the ritual. The birth of the god and the death of Dahlia. Harry arrives just as the soul is reunited with the body, and confronts Dahlia. She then proceeds to explain most, but not all, of what has been going on. The soul is restored to Alessa's charred, bandaged body. They both disappear and are replaced by the god, who has manifested as Alessa's image of her, a woman in shining robes. Kaufman unexpectedly walks in after the god is born. Blaming Dahlia and the Order for his presence in the fog world and then the other world, he wounds Dahlia with a pistol and hurls a vial of Ulpogus, a substance used to expel demons, at the god, not fully cognizant of what has just happened. This has an unexpected consequence when it causes the god to transform into Dahlia's image of god, namely that of a winged demon. The god destroys Dahlia with orange lightning and fights with Harry, who destroys him. The god falls to the ground and transforms back into the Shining Woman. It recreates Alessa into an infant, and hands it to Harry, who is unaware of the woman's true nature. The infant still had the capability of birthing the god. Legacy. In Silent Hill 3, Father Vincent refers to Dahlia as that old hag from 17 years ago. He also claims that she brainwashed Claudia Wolf, the game's antagonist. The Holy Woman sect was destroyed during and not long after the events of the game, a causality of Dahlia's actions. In Silent Hill 4, The Room, it is revealed that Dahlia, in an act of cooperation with the rival sect of the Holy Mother, told the young orphan Walter Sullivan that performing the aforementioned sex ritual of birthing, the ceremony of the 21 sacraments for the descent of the Holy Mother, would reunite him with his birth mother, intended as a fail-safe in case her plans for Alessa went awry. When Dahlia felt she no longer needed the Holy Mother sect, she showed Walter his birthplace, at room 302 of South Ashfield Heights in apartment building Indiana, the nearby town of Ashfield. Here, she sabotaged the Holy Mother sect's plans by telling him that the room was in fact his mother. This led him go on a killing spree as an adult, attempting to commit the 21 sacrifices needed to complete the ritual. Several of his victims were important order priests, which brought down 2 of the 3 original sects. ******. Me, Dahlia Gillespie. Dahlia, that's right. How did you know? Me, we came to destroy the order and free this whole town from the hell it's in. Dahlia, I'm glad you came. The order is the cult of a demon that is going to destroy everything. It took the whole town of Silent Hill into hell. Me, so this whole town is in hell. Dahlia, yes. Me, then it just became a battle between us and the army of hell. Dahlia, in a way. Heather, you were chosen to destroy the demon. Heather M., what demon? Dahlia, the demon that commands the order. Me, if we destroy the demon, we can free this whole town from the clutches of the devil. Then air raid sirens sounded. Dahlia, the darkness is coming. Me, let it come. Lana, we don't run. Dahlia, be careful. Me, we are angels of God and we don't give up on his people. The sky grew dark and we saw out of a girl dressed in a purple dress and black shoes with black hair and pale skin, and behind her was a terrifying shroud of darkness. Me, whoa. Heather M., that's me. I was known as Sharon back then. That version of me is a monster. Me, then we have to kill it. We saw her fired a powerful wave of darkness at a couple of buildings and destroyed them. Me, whoa. Lincoln, her power is terrifying. Oceanus Genren, we've dealt with powerful forces like this before. Brittany, we sure have. Heather M., her name is Alessa Gillespie and she is the demon. We gasped. *****. Sometime around 10 p.m. on the night of November 1st, 1974, a young girl named Alessa Gillespie is burned alive by a group of religious fanatics who believe her to be a witch. The burning goes awry, leaving Alessa alive, but with 4th-degree burns over 100% of her body. After being taken to Brookhaven Hospital, Alessa's rage and hatred begin to spiral out of control. Her hatred causes her to manifest extreme psionic powers, resulting in the flowers next to her hospital bed wilting. When a curious nurse looks into Alessa's burn tent, she lashes out, burning the nurse's eyes and making them bleed forever, staining her clothes. Immediately after that, Alessa's soul splits in 2, causing the creation of Dark Alessa. Dark Alessa approaches Alessa, and promises her that she can help her to take revenge on the cult. Alessa gives in to her own dark side, and she and Dark Alessa create the Other World, an alternate reality infected by Alessa's dark side. Dark Alessa uses the Other World and a horde of monsters under her control to torture and kill the cultists. In 1995, Alessa splits her soul a second time, and creates Sharon da Silva, a doppelganger of herself containing her good side. Dark Alessa carries the baby Sharon to the local orphanage, where she leaves her to be found by Sister Margaret. 9 years later, Dark Alessa begins to appear to Sharon in her sleep, causing her to sleepwalk. Dark Alessa continues to call to Sharon, intending to bring both Sharon and her mother to Silent Hill, West Virginia, the town where Dark Alessa and Alessa reside, and thus the events of the film happen. In a sleepwalking fugue, Sharon da Silva walks out of her house and to a steep cliff. As her mother calls to her, Sharon looks down and sees nothing but Dark Alessa, who seems to be beckoning her to throw herself off the cliff. At the last second, Rose da Silva grabs Sharon and throws her to the ground, stopping her from falling to her death. The next day, Rose takes Sharon to Silent Hill, intent on discovering the cause of her illness. As Rose arrives on the outskirts of the town, Dark Alessa darts into the road, causing Rose to crash her car. Once Rose is knocked unconscious, Sharon is removed from the car, and Rose is shifted into the fog world. Dark Alessa appears to Rose almost immediately after she wakes up from the crash and into the streets of Silent Hill engulfed in the fog world, luring her into a dark alley as the sirens in the town sounded upon the approaching otherworld, where she leads her to a corpse strung on a fence, and the Grey Children. Rose comes across Dark Alessa again at Midwich Elementary School. As before, Dark Alessa leads her to clues pertaining to Alessa's past. When the other world overtakes the school, Dark Alessa appears to Rose in her natural form, with greasy hair, pale skin, and blood smeared on her mouth. Dark Alessa later leads Rose to the secret church-like chamber at the Grand Hotel where Alessa was burned alive, but she quickly catches fire and disappears, rather than telling Rose what happened in this sacrificial chamber. At the hospital, Dark Alessa tells Rose the truth, explaining Alessa's history and why Rose was brought there. She then tells Rose her most famous line throughout the film: "It's time for this dream to end, and so too must the dreamers within it." For over 30 years they, the cult, have lied to their own souls. For 30 years, they denied their fate. But now is the end of days, and I am the Reaper. She also adds that it is time for the Brethren cult to suffer the consequences of their actions. Dark Alessa warns Rose that Christabella, the cult's priestess, has likely found Sharon already, and that she intends to kill her. Desperate to save her child, Rose agrees to help Dark Alessa and Alessa to get their final revenge. Dark Alessa hugs Rose, allowing her body to merge into Rose's. Rose then carries Dark Alessa into the local church, where she releases her. There, Dark Alessa dances in the blood of Christabella as Alessa rips her apart with rusted barbed wire. As Alessa's revenge ends, Dark Alessa finds Rose hiding in the corner of the church, shielding Sharon's eyes from the carnage. Dark Alessa approaches Sharon and locks eyes with her, causing her to faint. The darkness ends immediately afterwards, and both Dark Alessa and Alessa disappear. After Rose and Sharon leave the church, Sharon gives a strange look to Alessa's mother, Dahlia Gillespie, and starts Rose's car with her mind, strongly implying that Dark Alessa has merged with Sharon, creating a full rebirth of Alessa living in Sharon's body. Dark Alessa made a reappearance in Silent Hill's sequel Silent Hill: Revelation, taking the form of both a child and a teenager. She was portrayed by Aaron Pitt. Her child form is seen in a flashback chasing cultists throughout the streets of Silent Hill and bringing the darkness with her upon the town, and later appears on the Happy Carousel within Lakeside Amusement Park. When Heather Mason, a renamed, older version of Sharon, returns to the town, Dark Alessa meets her on the carousel and then morphs into a teenaged version whose appearance and clothing match those of Heather. She and Heather recombine and become a complete incarnation of Alessa, allowing Heather to take control of the other world before her ultimate confrontation with Claudia Wolf and her followers, the Order of Voltael. ******. Me. So she's the demon. We fired powerful energy blasts at Dark Alessa and we killed her. Me. Go back to hell, you little bitch. We sent her into the river of fire. Nicole. You demons are never gonna be welcome here. Heather M. But the order must be destroyed. Maria. Where's Horsa? Me. Uh-oh. Horsa got lost in the town. Horsa, scared. Maria. JD? Where are you guys? Speaks telepathically to her. Hello, child. Are you lost? Horsa, I think so. She gasped and she saw Pyramid Head. We ran and we saw him. Me, gasp. Pyramid Head. Heather him, he's my bodyguard. He's with me. Pyramid Head, I'm sorry Sharon. Heather him, it's okay. Maria, Horsa. Horsa, Maria. Me, thank goodness. But then we saw him attack us and Nico had his sword ready and they clashed. Nico, Pyramid Head, what the hell are you doing? Puppeteer clone, with a doll of Pyramid Head, sorry. But Pyramid Head works for me now. We saw a clone of Manon Kamak aka Puppeteer. The puppeteer's skin is purple, and her eyes are pink. Her hair is black, the tips of her ponytails light blue with long white spikes sticking out of each. She wears a black mask over her eyes. She also wears a black fairy dress with a black collar, icy blue colored shirt top, light blue design and 2 points at the skirt top, and light blue butterfly sleeves with black edges over black puff sleeves at her shoulders with light blue zigzag ends. Long, black, fingerless gloves adorn her hands. On her legs and feet, she has black leggings. Her wand is black with a black star at the end. The tip of the handle and the tips of the points of the star are icy blues. Me, Puppeteer. Puppeteer clone, a clone of her. Maria, you won't control our friends. Maria fired a powerful blast of water and it hit the clone and knocked it out. But then the clone vanished. Me, that's it for her. Pyramid Head was free from her. Pyramid Head, what happened? Eddie, to Pyramid Head, when I first heard about you, I kinda thought you were an Egyptian. Pyramid Head, you'd be wise not to test me. I have nothing left to lose. If I don't like what you and your friends have to say, none of you will be leaving here alive. William, now that's the Pyramid Head we know. Then a bunch of figures wearing black cloaks came out and we saw the Order. Me, the Order. You all are gonna pay for all the pain and suffering you've caused to this town. Claudia Wolf, you destroyed our master. She was the key to the planet's salvation. Me, your salvation is a world of chaos and pain. We are the true road to salvation. You guys are nothing but a bunch of satanic shitheads. Lainey, you should have summoned more clones instead of just Puppeteer. Me, now it's time for you all to die and this town will be free from you. We powered up and transformed. Leonard Wolf, we are the world's road to salvation. Me, no you aren't you fuckers. We are this world's salvation from people like you. In the name of God, you satanic freaks are going to hell. People like you deserve to be forever damned. We went at them and they went at us and we collided and a massive explosion of fire exploded out. Tourniquet by Evanescence plays. We were slashing and blasting them apart and killing them at a rapid rate as blood and guts were splattering all over the place. We fired blasts of fire, lightning, ice, and more as we stained the ground with the blood of the members of the Order. Nico, you Order douchebags have failed this world and this universe. Nico slashed a bunch of Order members and punched through their chests and ripped out their beating black hearts. Edzilla, punches cold member. Ed smash cold members. We were punching, blasting, and blowing a bunch of Order members apart and killing them all. We were gonna make sure that all the members of the Order pay for their crimes. Lincoln fired a powerful blast of lightning and electrocuted a bunch of Order members and they exploded. Lainey fired a bunch of poison barbs and poisoned a bunch of them with strychnine omega and it killed them instantly. Earth and Lynn fired a bunch of globs of lava and melted and burned them. I fired a bunch of energy blasts and killed a bunch of members of the Order in powerful explosions. Crabohum. Bohum. Bohum. Be-bohum. Bohuam. Fu flew around and slashed the members of the Order with incredible speed and their blood and guts splattered all over the place in a shower of blood. Black fire blasted a lot of members of the Order with starbolts and laser eye blasts and killed a lot of them. I was slashing a bunch of members with my lightsaber and incinerated a bunch of members with force lightning. Lana froze a bunch of members with her ice lightning and shattered them into a million pieces and killed them. Lola fired a bunch of blasts of fire and incinerated a bunch of them. Lisa fired a bunch of plasma disintegration beams at the Order members and obliterated them. Ruin fired a bunch of powerful blasts of light and obliterated them. Luna and Lily fired numerous blasts of water and skewered them all in an instant. Lori fired a bunch of blasts of wind and ripped them to shreds in powerful tornadoes. Carol fired a powerful blast of Godzilla's atomic ray and destroyed them in a massive fiery explosion. Lucy Loud fired a massive blast of black lightning and blew them apart. Lincoln and Lincoln fired massive combined blasts of lightning and electrocuted them and blew them apart. We slashed them all and their evil spirits went into the river of fire. But they kept on coming. Me. Slash is another member. They're like cockroaches. Nico. Tell me some shit I don't know. Yuko. These motherfuckers keep on coming. Blasts a bunch of members with fire. We kept on blasting, slashing, and blowing them apart and sending their evil heretical, blasphemous spirits into the river of fire. We also punched and kicked them and sent them into the river of fire with their bodies on them. Biza fired a massive blast of water at the members and it skewered them and killed them. Biza, these fuckers have no idea what the power of a true demon can do. Biza turned into her sea demon form and she slashed numerous members of the Order and blasted them with a huge amount of water. Girl Jordan killed numerous members with a powerful dragon made of pure water. Sam Manson slashed a bunch of members with a plant sword and Riley slashed them with a whip and killed them with sulfuric acid in their weapons. Sylvia punched, kicked, and bashed a bunch of Order members. James M. and Sella were mercilessly thrashing and slashing them with powerful martial arts skills. Me. Let's finish them with teamwork. Nico. Roger that. Let's go Venom. Venom. Right. Nico formed powerful bramble vines and Venom. Through numerous symbiote tentacles. Nico and Venom. Leech tentacle drain. Using parasites' powers they drained most of the members of the Order and killed them. G1 Bumblebee. Let's get them. Cyber Key Power. The Autobot Cyber Key Planet Key went into his back and it enabled him to have 100 missile blasters pop out. Amphibian. Let's do it. Omnitrix Cyber Key Power. The Omnitrix Cyber Planet went into the Omnitrix symbol on his chest and it enhanced Amphibian's lightning powers 100-fold. G1 Bumblebee and Amphibian. Super Lightning Missile Firestorm. Bumblebee and Amphibian fired numerous missiles and powerful blasts of lightning and they blew a bunch of members of the Order apart. Hunger. Let's get them. Cyber Key Power. The Animatron Cyber Planet Key went into his back and it enhanced his sonic stun gun 100-fold. Black Fire. I've wanted to try this. Tamaran Cyber Key Power. The Tamaran Cyber Planet Key went into her right arm and it enhanced her powers 100-fold. Hunger and Black Fire. Starburst Sonic Death Ray. Hunger fired a powerful sonic stun blast and Black Fire fired a massive blast of starbolts and laser vision and the blasts combined and blew the members apart. Me. There's only 21 members left. Let's finish them with final smashes. Laney. I'll start us off. Strychnine Omega Poison Obliteration. Laney fired a powerful beam of light and it obliterated 7 of them in an instant and reduced them to green slop. Pyramid Head. Let's make these monsters pay. Pyramid Storm Flash. Pyramid Head slashed 7 of the members into a massive bloody mess. Heather M. Never will you terrorize my life or my family again. Light of Heaven Death Burst. Heather M. fired a massive blast of rainbow light at the remaining members of the Order and they were obliterated in an instant. The Order was destroyed. Me. The Order is now in hell. All the citizens of Silent Hill came and they cheered and they were now free. Dahlia. Thank you all so much. Me. No problem. But then the whole town and everyone was vanishing. Heather M. What's happening? Me. the whole town is free from the order and the pain they have caused. They are now crossing over into heaven. Dahlia, thank you. All of you. You saved us and freed us. Now we can cross over into heaven and be with our families and friends. Me, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. They were gone and they were now free. The whole town vanished and in its place was now a burned forest and a barren wasteland. The evil spell of the order and the psychological trauma it caused was erased from existence forever. Heather M came up to me and she looked at me and hugged me and broke down crying. I hugged her. Me, it's okay Heather. It's okay. Just let it all out. She was crying hard. The torture and pain she had to endure because of Silent Hill and the Order was merciless. But her nightmare was over. Pyramid Head, to the viewers, the Order are gone and the town can now rest in peace. And my work is no longer needed. Pyramid Head went back to the afterlife. Nico later caught a Lunala. On a post-apocalyptic version of Earth light years away from our Earth in the city of Corinth, 7 Rangers were getting ready to journey to our Earth. It was the RPM. Power Rangers. Summer Lansdowne, are you sure you want to enlist the help of Team Loud Phoenix Storm to help us? Scott Truman, we can have them help us move Corinth to their Earth. We need a new home again. Flynn McAllister, Scottish accent, he's right lass. We can't stay here anymore. Scott Truman, let's do it guys. RPM Power Rangers, RPM. Get in gear. They transformed in a blinding flash of light and the camera went black. The end. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Another fanfiction complete and part 4 of the 13 Days of Horror complete. Silent Hill was a strange and terrifying game and movie. Never played or watched it but I heard it's terrifying. I can't even begin to imagine going through something like that. No, Timothy McVeigh did not have a son in real life. I made that up. Dark A gave me the idea for this chapter and Nico-chan 11 gave me the ideas for this. Thanks guys. Next for part 5 is the giant mutated ants from the 1954 movie Them. Let me know what you all think. See you all next time.